all around that's changing.
And then you leave, and then you see first class, and it's like these poles.
I know, I've never, with these cushy blankets, I've never done it because I think if I did, there's no, there would be no blanket.
You know how you are with that?
And I can't afford that.
How old are they? Do they more than a couple of years? They're going to be replaced.
I'm super earnings.
They have new outfits.
Don't forget, I get your hand over your head and
What's it?
thank you.
Well,
Some little creature.
it has been a very long time for the answer to one question. Is there are more questions? No, but I thought it is, because it is something I am very interested in, and I think very important to try to make more clear the things about politics, because it is a place or a topic where it is too much easy to mix everything. And well, so first I conclude this too long answer. I conclude by saying that all that, for me, shows that with art we have something that maybe is, I would say, is in charge of precisely what today neither politics nor religion are able to answer to, or to take with them. Of course, that doesn't mean that we don't have nothing to do with politics, nor eventually with religion, but both cases are very different because if religion can be taken apart, and if it is possible not to have nothing to do with religion as such, I mean in the strong meaning of observance of some rituals and some belief. To understand that, it means that religion is a realm of, first, of ritual, any kind of ritual, even minimal ritual, and of belief. And just at this point, belief is not faith. And this, I think this is very important, very, very important. What is at stake in Christianism or in monotheism or even in Buddhism, in the extent they are not exactly a religion, or they are not limited to the religious way of doing, of existing and doing. If there is something there at stake, this is faith and not belief. But I don't want to enter this topic because it would be another hour or two. But I hope you understand something. You know, belief I would say simply belief is a wake knowledge. I believe it will not rain today. Belief, or elementary form of belief. But it is not matter of faith. But faith has to do with confidence. Faith, or the fides in Latin, from which faith comes, like foi. Fides is confidence, is so, and what is to be confident, that is to be, to say that in that way, to be sure of something, or better, of somebody, or to make the confidence in somebody precisely without knowledge. If there is a place where there is faith totally separated from religion, this is love. I want to say love in the extended meaning, but in love in the precise meaning, I am confident in the other. If I start to want to have evidence for the possibility to be confident, I am starting to go out of love. And I am entering in particularly jealousy. Because jealousy is precisely the, I don't know, in French we have the contrary of confidence. Confiance is défiance. But I don't know if it exists in English. Défiance.
Defiance is not the same.
Defiance is not the same.
And confidence, not to be confident. The jealousy is jealousy which belongs to love at the same time. It is, I don't say jealousy is simply the contrary of love. No, in a certain extent jealousy belongs to love, but it belongs to love. I would say precisely on the side where love is not only in the confidence. In the confidence, I can't be confident, I would say, even against any evidence. And even I can love somebody who betrayed me. So he betrayed my confidence. I can be confident beyond any reasonable confidence. And that is the only true confidence. So the faith is to give confidence without knowledge. This to give confidence to the other as other, to the other in his or her otherness, to which I will never have access. And this is as well the meaning of faith, of the word saying faith in Hebrew, which is the word, I mean, from which comes the amen. And amen is a word, amen, which gives the Arabic word amin, which names the faith, the Arab of the Quran, and even after the Quran. Amen means I agree to what I don't know. I agree to be supported by the force of the other, and it is a way to abandon the self to the other. But and I stop with that for now. But precisely beyond any knowledge, and not as a weak knowledge, or not, and not with the calculated quasi-knowledge that if I do so it will be better, you know, it would be better to to believe in God and to, I don't know, to be baptized and then to go to communion and all to make the prayer, and because maybe it is more secure. The faith is not a matter of security, because besides the faith itself, if you go more deeply into the faith, into the discourse of the faith, the faith is not my act or my mind. The faith is given to me, given by God. So with that, in a certain way, it is clear that faith, as such, has nothing to do with art, or it has only to do maybe in the way that in art the form which is created, invented by the artist, does not take its value from itself as a form, but from the fact that it is a great form, it is a great and strong artistic form in the extent it opens beyond itself. In the extent the work of art is an open work, as says Eco, or in the extent the work is unworked, to speak with Blanchot. It is open beyond and open to an otherness which is precisely without form. But in a certain way is the only way the form itself has its artistic value. At least in a way, it is possible to say a great form or good artistic form, true artistic form, is a form by which I can go beyond this form itself, or a form which open me much more than close me or take me in the prison of the form itself. So, how the religion, and for politics, of course, politics wants to have its own form, wants to give form to the community. But precisely the jeopardy of politics is to, I would say, to give too much form. Because politics has to, in a way or another, politics has to achieve. The work of politics has to be a work, and not to be a work of form open to something else. Because it has to be something like, to say, the state, maybe even if not in the precise meaning of the nation state, but the stability of which I was speaking before. So, politics has to put a regulation to interest and to the differences between individual groups, forces, economics and symbolics, etc. But politics has to achieve something the way you need a minimum of continuity, of stability, etc. But precisely this has not to be taken as an artistic form, because if it is taken as an artistic form, it pretends to be an achievement of sense. This is, once again, this is precisely the case of fascism. But I have to agree that if we are not in the fascism, and you understand how it has been important in fascism to all the condition of art and the relation with the art has been so important. Not only state art, but the condemnation of certain kind of art, degenerated art, the Nazi named it, etc. But out of fascism, the condition is not that clear, because for example, the artists claim, mostly in Europe, and maybe in Europe, mostly in France and in other countries, the artists claim that the state has to, at least to support or to protect the exercise of art. But at the same time, the artists claim the state should give support, and mainly financial support, to art, and at the same time leave art absolutely free from any political goal or expression. And evidently, sometimes it comes to contradiction. And this is maybe the huge problem. We know that this much more European problem than problem for the rest of the world. It's the problem of what is called cultural politics, politique culturelle. The French invented with Malraux the Minister for Culture. And Malraux, built a lot of house of culture all around in France. And France has a lot of national cultural institutions like theater, school for art, for music, national institution for dance, music. Not all French institutions, God sei Dank, are national, but some are national. And of course, it is important to be a national institution, for example, for a theater, because you receive regular money for what you are doing. And then the theater which are not national, some receive other means, other amount of money, but some do not receive nothing at all. And so it starts a rivalry between those kind of institutions, and then one has the right to ask, why is this theater a national one and not this one? A few months ago, it was a critic in the journal about an opera in Strasbourg. I remarked that because I have some links, friendship links in the opera of Strasbourg, and it was a terrible critic of a very well-known critic in France. You know, this kind of man who makes a law in the newspaper. You know, and he made such a terrible criticism of one opera represented in Strasbourg, was the Ariane in Naxos of Strauss, that his article ended with, it is a question to know how the National Opera of the Rhine, it is the name of the opera of Strasbourg, it's the National Opera of the Rhine, is worst of this title of national. This is a terrible critic, you know, so an individual journalist in the newspaper has the right, this is democracy, to ask if the title of national is well for this institution because this opera was so bad for him. It was not an excellent production, I agree, but it was not so terrible that so it's just reasonable to say that how shall a state decide what has to be art, to be or not to be art, what has to be national or not national, what kind of art, is it good to give more money to theaters and to, you know, theater is very expensive. It's maybe more expensive than cinema because the piece of theater is represented, even if it is represented, I don't know, 100 times, it is almost nothing in comparison with a film which can be screened in all the screens around the world. As it is not to say that there are too much money for cinema. I listen if Claire is not she is not listening. Now, of course, cinema as well needs public support because you know the film is very expensive as well. But you know there are all the time in France there are conflicts of this nature. You know, for example, the last one is that there is a place in Rome they call the Médicis Villa. So you know Médicis Villa. This is a big name of the Renaissance, and so all the tradition of art is there. So this is a French place in Rome, and at this place for 1 year or 2 years, don't remember, some artists in literature, music, painting can be nominated. So they receive the kind of grant, and they have the right to live there. This is a wonderful place in Rome to live and to work to their work. So, in the last election to the Villa Médicis, it is 2 weeks ago, in the music, for the music, two musicians have been nominated. I don't know them, I don't even remember their name. Two musicians who are making yes, kind of popular music. They sing and produce themselves on different scenes, and they make records. One and then two, or maybe only one other in the, I don't know how we call that, the musique savante, what is called the contemporary music, to say not popular, absolutely not popular. The contemporary music, the concert of which you have, I don't know, you have maybe 200 people, and you have 2,000 people 1 kilometer further to listen to the most popular music. Well, I don't know what to say here. I don't know the people. That's not the matter. The matter is that there is now a fight in France between many musicians, artists in contemporary music who signed a petition against this election, because they say those people, they already get money by their records, their spectacle, and we don't get any money, or very few. So, and maybe on the artistic level, in terms of choice precisely of forms, maybe it's a good idea to take the Villa Médicis musician working in a new way, I don't know, mixing forms of contemporary music with form of more popular music. I don't know, I have absolutely no idea of what is at stake, no idea of the music. But I see that this is only a fight about money, about public money. To what should be public money used? Who can answer to that? This is a very complicated question. Maybe it is a question which has to go until the interior, I would say, of the state, in the shape of the Republican, especially in France, but the same problem occurs in other European countries. And why not in countries like America? Because in America the private money plays a much important role. But to have this system, this private money, first you have to have more private money. That's one step, but you have to have a state of a different shape, a different system, a different political system. So, only to show that the question of art goes into the heart of political system, and at the same time cannot be confused with politics as such. Well, I have no answer to that. I have no answer. I just expose the situation as it is. And in addition, I will only say that, I think that we have today to think of politics as, to say, a sphere. A sphere is a term I take from Marx, because Marx says the political sphere is separated from the, has to disappear and to go into all the other common sphere of life. But precisely to have the politic disappearing, that is disappearance or the destruction of state, which has been for a long time the communist, socialist representation. This is certainly what now come to an end. That is, we know that to make an end to the separation, the relative separation of the political sphere, can be the worst. Because once again, this is fascism. And the slogan, everything is political, has been a fascist slogan. The fascism is, in a way, is a disappearance of politics precisely as a specific sphere. One evidence of that is that the fascist state is a state without a regular constitution. The constitution of the Republic of Weimar was suspended by the Nazis and never applied. And on the other side, in the Soviet Union, the constitution of the Soviet Union was never really adopted. But the regime of the party, the governing party, is the other than the regime of a constitution. And that is why Germany paid so much attention to its constitution after the war. Even why Habermas was able to invent the concept of how it is the constitutional patriotism. The patriotism not related to the patriot, to the homeland, the Heimat in German, but related to the constitution as such. Well, so we have to think of politics at the same time as a separate sphere, but a separate sphere through which everything goes and has to go, but nothing has to, I would say, to stop there, or nothing has to be taken as such from the beginning to the end by politics or in politics. And so nothing, that is, no religion, no art, no philosophy, of course, and no way of being in common. But of course, everything has to go through politics. How we can manage that is a question of democracy. Well, now, of course, it is too late to start with another topic, so maybe there would be another question for 15 minutes answer. Yes, 15 minutes. You need no more.
Okay, got it. If it interests you, and if not, then I'll take it back because I know it was a while back. But given our discussion here, I mentioned this to you in the break. I was thinking about the center that you and Phillipe Lacoue-Labarthe began years ago and wrote about in Retreating the Political. So I wonder if you might be interested in describing what you were up to, what your task was.
Yes, you're right. This is an important question. I think it takes more than 15 minutes. No, yes. I would say the word retreating the political, which we take at this time as the main word for this center. And for the very idea of the center was the idea of retreating the political. And
What was the name of the center?
it was Center for Research on Political Work. But in French it was something which belonged to this time. It was Recherche sur le politique. Masculine, le politique. And at this time, le politique for us represented something, the essence of politics, distinguished from la politique, which is the practice of politics. And but today I don't like to take this distinction, which is much in use in France, and I think which comes from the German Carl Schmitt. Carl Schmitt is das Begriff des Politischen, this concept of politics, but in English the problem doesn't occur,
I
but
think
for us it doesn't.
it's translated as the political versus politics.
The political is le
Yes.
politics, masculine, das Politik. Well, I will not enter this conversation. So, at this time, that is, was 80, I think, yes, we started in 80 or 81. At this time, it was already sensible in France that that something was wrong with politics. Maybe this disease with politics started a long time ago. Maybe it was all the time the disease of French Republic and democracy. But I would say not exactly disease of French Republic, because for a while, I would say until the First World War, the Republic has been in France an ideal representation of the possibility of the politics to be precisely what monarchic politics wanted to be, that is the assumption of the role of the common life. But a republic which posited again the question of civil religion, or I don't know how to name it, even not with the word religion, but a link that could be more than the formal and legal link. The citizenship has more than the link through the law. So the disease was very, very sensible at this time, and maybe because this time was the beginning of the economical and technical problem of a new epoch, a new period for France and for Europe. It was finished with what is called les 30 Glorieuses, the 30 glorious years after the war. And then I think our purpose was to say we have to retreat from the image, the shape, the form, the concept of politics we have, in order to come back of, maybe not back, but to advance until the essence of the political. That is why I think we spoke of the political, and then to retrace a new form of political. It was the ambiguity we want to use with the word retreating, to retire and to retrace, which maybe is not possible in English, but it's possible, it's not so obvious in French, but in French, you know, the retrait, that is retreating, no, se retirer, to retreat from, at the beginning, was the same word as to make the portrait of. You know. And retraiter, retraiter has been a verb in French to say makes a portrait. That is retirer. Retrait is retirer. So you have two meanings with many words in a re, like in a representation. Taking away or taking again, tracing again, or not tracing but retiring. So we wanted to use both meanings. It is very interesting to see that the second meaning, the meaning of retracing, was never really kept by people, only the first one. And the first one was taken sometime positively, but in what way? Because what it means to retreat from the politics, it is becoming apolitics, having nothing to do with politics. So at this time, in the 80s, it takes the forms, for a while, the form of what happened in Poland. You know, in Poland it was this kind of revolution, which was the part, one of the first part of the small or not small starting revolution or big change inside the Soviet, not Union but Empire, yes. And so it started in Poland, all what started with, you know, with Solidarność. And it came at a certain point, I think it was in the years 83, 84, something like that. It came in Poland to this very strange separation between what started to be called at this time the civil society, as if civil would no longer be a name for the city, but civil society separated from state. And in Poland it was, so people was able to say for a while, there is a state, you know, Jaruzelski was, General Jaruzelski was the head of the state. So this is the state in fact belonged to the Soviet Union. The state is in charge of foreign affairs and army. We have nothing to do with that. And we manage the civil society on the basis of the idea of Solidarność, that is, at the same time, the idea of a syndicate, which did not exist, of course, before in Poland, and syndicate and the interest of justice for everybody, but mainly for the workers. Solidarność was at the starting point a syndicate of workers in Gdansk, which is an important industrial city in Poland. And in a very, very strange way, this kind of model, which was not built as a model, which was something very linked to the circumstances, linked to mainly to the idea that it is not worth to try to make the revolution against Moscow, because Moscow is too strong. And every people at this time did remember what happened in Hungary in 1656, and later as well in Poland before. So So the idea was we separate, and we manage the civilization. And people in France started to take this way and to explain. And in our center, we did have people explaining that this was the good way to take. I remember well that Lyotard, who take part in the center all the time from the starting point, Lyotard, who know very well Victor. Lyotard was, it was a little complicated for him, but it was partly on this side. He thought that it was at least one step to take, the step of separating politics as a common life of the society and the political in that meaning, and politics as the government. But precisely at this time, we started, I mean Lacoue-Labarthe and me, we started to think something is going wrong there, because we no longer put the question of the political as such on the table. We no longer discuss really the political, because we say the political is a state. We cannot destroy the state, but we let it have its own life, and we do what? We do social justice as if it would be possible to separate both spheres. And so this was the reason for what in 84, yes, we decided to stop with the center. But of course, for Lacoue-Labarthe and me, this decision should have been a revolutionary decision. Revolutionary inside the center to say, no, it will not go this way. We have to really take the question of politics at the ground. And what happened? Nothing. Because we didn't know how to start again. Some people told us, you should start again, you should do something. But people like, for example, Badiou, Rancière, all those people, Balibar, all those people at this time, Lefort, they came to the center in the first years and delivered a lecture on several aspects of the problem. But nobody was able to make a new proposal, and not even us, was able to make a new proposal about a new way for making the research about it. And then it stopped, and for some other quite different reasons. For example, I did go in America for 2 years, things like that, but that all is very only empirical. So I think we never can explain something by the empirical, but only by the transcendental. And the transcendental, I would say, at this time, was a kind of void, emptiness, about the question of politics. And I think this void and this emptiness is still there. Is still there. So I wrote a small book about democracy, which is now translated in America just a few days ago. Truth of Democracy, very ambiguous title. Ambitious. Ambiguous maybe, but the ambitious title. Only to say that democracy has two meanings. One is a political, the kind of government. The other, this is what I say in the book, the other is, to say it roughly, is a metaphysical sense. That is, democracy implies much more than politics. And maybe we never take the whole measure of what democracy has as more than political content. But I wrote that, but at the same time, or a few weeks, I think, after I finished this small book, which was at the same time a celebration for 86, because no, 68, because 68, I think, was the first time was this profound question about politics emerged. So a few weeks after, I received the invitation to take part in a collective book about democracy. And I think this book as well is translated in the States. And what is the title? And the title is Democracy in What Condition? So democracy is sick, democracy doesn't go well, etc. So I wrote another text in this collective book. So, and all the no, not all, but the major part of the work of Rancière goes in the same, not exactly in the same way, but Rancière wrote a book about the hate of democracy, to defend democracy, of course, but not to defend democracy as something strong, but to even I could say, I think he would agree to defend the weakness of democracy as its real force. You know? But what is interesting is that he had the need to write against the hate of democracy, because the hate for democracy is something which is expanding itself in Europe. And in the rest of the world, because there is a other way, you know, which was the way the American democracy understanding itself as a true form, not only of democracy, but of all the way of common life wanted until now. Now it's wanted to expand itself all around the world, as we know, as well as for economical goals. But at the same time, because maybe there is there in the country with this kind of civil religion, as I said before, there is the belief that democracy is something strong. We know what is it, and then we can propose it as a model for the entire world, even if it is not a model for the country itself. So, on one way or the other, democracy is in trouble. Maybe it's a good thing for democracy.